Make sure to follow my Instagram at Marspeed_official, where I'll answer all your questions in DMs.
Hey guys, so before I start the video, just want to say a couple things. First of all, sorry that I haven't been uploading as much as I would have liked to. The school semester just started recently, so I've been getting back into the swing of things, and going to classes takes up a ton of my time. But as I get more adjusted, hopefully I'll be uploading more. Also, as you can see, it's really dark outside. I've had to go out filming at night just because I haven't had any time during the day. But I've got my lights on and the streets are pretty dead, so hopefully it should be all good. So for today's video, we're going to be looking at 6 mods you can do to your Dodge Charger to increase power and torque. Obviously, these mods will apply to any car, but the channel is very Charger focused, so I always put the emphasis on that. For each mod, we'll be looking at what the mod is and how it works, the cost of the mods, the specific cost for a V6 and a V8 charger, as well as the horsepower gains you can expect to get if you install these mods. Another thing to note is that you've probably heard manufacturers claiming how much horsepower you can gain and that sort of thing, but that's usually quite overstated, so don't always believe what they say. Also, how much horsepower you actually gain completely depends on the type of car you have, the setup you're running, and so it definitely varies from car to car. As you'll see, it's also generally very expensive to add power, especially to the chargers, and you can expect to spend hundreds or if not thousands of dollars for some horsepower gains. But in any case, let's get on to the video.
First up is a cold air intake. These usually start at $150 and can go all the way up to $500 or more. Horsepower gains are usually in the range of a gain of about 5 to 20 horsepower, but usually near the lower end of that. You also usually get a nice sound out of these. Upgrading to a performance cold air intake is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to increase horsepower, and it's also pretty easy to install, plus you get that nice sound, plus it usually adds some fuel economy as well. Cold air intakes are designed to flow more efficiently. An aftermarket intake has a larger diameter with smooth tubes made of better materials that are conducive to stronger airflow. A cold air intake works by moving the engine air filter away from the engine, so that the air being sucked in is cooler, and as the air coming into your engine gets colder, it also gets denser, and the denser the air, the more power it will produce. Cold air intakes also feature a cone-shaped filter that offers increased surface area to pull the air through, sometimes up to about 3 times the size of your factory air filter. Second on the list would be a Catback Exhaust system. A good system will usually start at around $500 and go into the thousands. You can also do custom as well. Manufacturers usually claim a horsepower gain of around 5 to 10%, so in a 300 horsepower car, that's basically anything between 10 to 30 horsepower. Plus you get a super awesome sound from the aftermarket exhaust, and also some better miles per gallon as well. Named for its placement behind your catalytic converter, a Catback exhaust system replaces your restrictive stock muffler and factory exhaust pipes, allowing for a quicker and more efficient path for exhaust gases to escape. Not only does this allow your engine to breathe better, but it also allows it to create more power. Catback exhaust systems also usually feature straight flow mufflers for a more straight through flow of the exhaust gases for even more power. Next, continuing along with the exhaust, is a high-flow catalytic converter. These are usually pretty costly for a direct fit, around $300 to $600, and if you haven't done any mods to the car, one of these might gain you a negligible difference, only a handful of horsepower, maybe 2 to 5, but you will see more gains if you have other engine mods done. High-flow catalytic converters aren't too different from the stock ones. A high-flow cat is still responsible for reducing emissions, but it does it faster. Along with your other exhaust mods, a high-flow cat is focused on increasing the exhaust flow of your engine to help it make more power. High-flow cats increase power across the RPM range, though most noticeably in the lower end. Fourth on the list is exhaust headers. These actually work pretty good and can add 15 to 35 horsepower for a cost of at least $300 for shorty headers and up from there. The goal of headers is to make it easier for your engine to push exhaust gases out of the cylinders. Instead of sharing a common manifold, each cylinder gets its own exhaust pipe, The individual pipes are cut and bent so that each one is the same length as the others, so each cylinder's exhaust gases arrive in the collector spaced out equally, so there's no back pressure generated by the cylinder sharing the collector. Therefore, you notice more power and torque from your engine. Both long tube and shorty headers boost your vehicle's performance by moving air faster and more effectively. Long tube headers are better for a bigger engine with more horsepower, and shorty headers are usually best for smaller and less powerful cars, such as a V6. Next up would be forced induction, which includes supercharging or turbocharging the engine. These systems can add 100 to 150 horsepower or more depending on the car, but they do come at a huge cost, starting at $4,000 for a V6 set and going all the way up from there depending on your car. Forced induction compresses the air flowing into the engine, allowing for more air. And by adding more air, the engine can also mix in more fuel, so a charged engine produces more power overall, which significantly improves the acceleration. Superchargers are powered by a belt connected to the engine, which gives it instant power when you step on the gas. Turbochargers use wasted energy from the exhaust system as their power source, but by doing this there's a delay, or it's called turbo lag, until you feel power. And finally, the last mod I wanted to talk about for this video would be programmers and tuners. These normally cost at least $300 and can add a range of horsepower depending on what you do with them. The computer that controls your engine is factory programmed according to certain emissions and fuel octane requirements, so there's definitely some horsepower that gets left behind. And with a tuner, you can adjust your vehicle settings like fuel to air ratio, turbo boost, and the type of gas you use to pull that horsepower back out. These tuners also tell the computer what other mods you've done, and this alone can help the mods perform better once the computer realizes that they're there. These tuners are super easy to use, usually plug and play, that connects directly to your OBD2 port, and even comes programmed with pre-made or customizable tunes.
Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Just to show how expensive it is to add some horsepower, if you did every mod on this list, you'd be looking at a cost between $5,750 and $11,500. And this would gain you between 137 to 300 horsepower. So as you can see, adding horsepower is pretty expensive. Again, everything I've said for horsepower numbers and costs are general estimates for the Dodge Charger, so nothing is exact, and it totally depends on your setup. Just some food for thought. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and let me know if you do want a part 2. If you've got any of these mods installed, let me know if you like them. Let me know if they added a lot of horsepower for you or if you can feel it. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Mopar and car content, and I'll see you next video.